our investigators, Mr. Lawrence Clarkson, Mrs. Roscar, and Archibald MacCormick, PhD, and Nathan Chamberlain, who are investigating missing children, or Mr. and Mrs. Doyle. They've traced them to kidnapped. They've been kidnapped, and they've traced them to the Tom in Limehouse. Now, is this your next goal? Is to go to the Limehouse warehouse where they are, or what's your next step?
Well, that's our main lead, but both player me and character me doesn't really want to go there just yet before we know what we're dealing with.
I can imagine Mr. Clarkson doesn't want to go.
Well, now that we've secured the children, what are we? It really depends on.
I'm sure all of you would have contacts where you could lead the children. Probably Mrs. Roscar might be the least appropriate.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Although to be fair, Mrs. Roscar was the one who immediately offered to let the kids stay on her
commune. Yeah. Or we might leave them at the frying pan.
Slavery.
I'm not one to turn down free labor.
Well, unless you want to stick them in a workhouse, which I assume you don't, the best place that I could take them is I know the landlord of a rather nice pub called the Giggling Squid in my area.
Yeah, we might as well leave them at the frying pan, where members of our organization may look after them.
I'm friendly with a few publicans too, and I have a farm they could disappear on.
Fantastic. Everyone wants to leave his kids at a pub.
Well, they seem to like pubs.
They do seem to
They're used to that environment.
If I put them in the farm, they won't be able to run away again.
And if
I don't even want to ask the question, and why is that?
Because it's the middle of bloody nowhere.
It's the barbed wire and...
if they're in a pub, nobody says they're gonna be drinking.
No. And they can always just be upstairs.
We could put them in an opium den, then they won't go anywhere.
They'll be too high to run away.
Are you suggesting Wang's opium den, as in the place we don't want them to be anywhere near?
There are others, surely.
Oh, that competition then.
I mean,
I
would find it difficult to run away, I suppose, if you did send them to the farm in Cornwall. It's like 260 odd miles. So.
But you see, here's the thing about my Cornish farm. It's not actually in Cornwall.
What the fuck?
Never been there myself.
Sounds like it.
That explains the accent.
Sorry.
That explains everything.
Yeah. I'm sure Dr. MacCormick or
so many sessions to that.
Contacts. I mean, even Mr. Clarkson could leave them with maybe his children, or Dr. MacCormick.
I've got a townhouse and a butler to look after them.
I have a townhouse too, and a farm in Tunbridge Wells.
It's just called Cornwall Farm.
No, it isn't. It's called Walled Corn Farm.
Oh, okay. So we got it was a Cornish farm, but it was just a corn farm. All right.
Well, maybe not corn, but maize or something similar to corn, hence corn-ish.
It's all about branding, you know.
Branding.
It was actually beets, but she couldn't make that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the fuck is it. I think it's corn.
I just want to say thank you, Jayson. Clearly, you've been sitting at the feet of the master punner and have learned well how to pun badly.
You get a badge.
So,
No, okay.
Lawrence likes
Seriously,
badges.
about the kids, I suppose I know of some accommodation like institute.
you
that
could,
look
yeah.
after kids.
That's a good
Well,
call.
look,
actually.
it depends whether we want to prioritize luxury and protection versus blending in.
Yeah, as long as they have someone to look after them, and they're not in plain daylight. I mean, that works. Whether that is an institution or a back room somewhere.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that Mr. Clarkson or Mr. Chamberlain could look after the children from acquaintances. Dr. MacCormick could put them within within a system, protected but not particularly well cared for, maybe. Mr. Roscar would obviously have them slave labour.
I think the idea actually of placing them in a hospital actually sounds a smart move. The only thing I would suggest is, just to make damn sure of it, we sign them under an assumed name.
Yeah, sure.
You could do that because obviously Dr. MacCormick could quite easily do that.
You put them in hospital, they'll drain their bloody blood.
Okay, I do believe that acquaintances is maybe a better path. The less know about the kids, the better.
Yeah.
So instead of alerting a whole structure rather than a whole household, I would prefer the household. Whether it is Chamberlain's butler or Clarkson family.
Well,
Yep.
the children have already had issues since I've been recruited to your little cabal, since there's no parent there to look after them, but I could ask one of my neighbours.
I thought you had children of your own, Mr. Clarkson.
Yes, I do, but in terms of who's looking after them, I don't want them to have another child.
Oh, okay. I think these two are quite a handful as well, mind, having said that.
Which is why I should put them on the farm where more people are there to look over them. But oh no, can't have Mrs. Roscar do that. She'd be irresponsible and force them to work. Honestly, I think fetching a few pitchers of water would probably be good. Bit of good manual labour would probably do them some good. Learn a bit of discipline and respect. Oh, I went Irish there.
It's getting a bit, I was going to say, it's getting a bit almost
Hey.
version of Ulster there.
Learn a bit of respect.
See, this is what happens when you go Cornwall via Surrey.
You get catapulted to Belfast.
You get catapulted to Belfast, apparently.
So yeah, you see, you can stash the kids wherever you want to stash the kids. That's up to you.
Actually, the idea of having them on a farm the hell away, right the hell away from everything.
We don't need to plan a session, Phil. We're just going to discuss this all night.
Yeah, I do think so too.
You can stash the kids wherever you want to stash the kids. But
Well,
how are
it's-
you approaching the warehouse in Limehouse? Wang's.
Right. Well, I suggest that Nathan does a reconnaissance. Isn't it a place with opium? Sounds like his kind of thing.
It might well be his sort of thing, to be quite honest.
It's not my thing at all.
Not your field of
Thought you were
Well,
all-
I'm pleased to hear it, but I'm sure you can just pretend for the sake of our operation.
Yes, and yes, Toby, I know that you like it. Yes, people here.
Who's he talking to?
Don't know.
Is that imaginary friend of yours?
Oh yes, it probably is his imaginary friend. In
Okay,
fact.
and you don't like opium.
You're going to hurt his feelings.
He probably does like his opium, actually.
Look, I'm happy to go in and check the place out.
Okay. So you
Good.
you go ahead of the main group during the daytime. You're going to go in during daytime, just check the area out, or are you going at night?
I prefer nighttime, but if we think daytime is better, I'll go for it. But I prefer the cover at night for some of this.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Although we run the risk of more people there at night.
Yeah, that's the point. If we're looking for information, the more people we can get it from, the better.
So are you going at nighttime, or
Yeah.
okay, you got nighttime. You wait. Limehouse is a busy port during the day. At night, it's really quiet and quite dangerous. The misty streets and the smog make it even more eerie, and sounds echo off the brick walls and around the cobble streets. It is really quite a dangerous area at night time. But you travel through these streets to the warehouse that has been called Wang's. But you actually notice that there's a few people in front of you. You just glimpse shadows in the fog ahead of you, and they seem to have like a cape and a top hat, even walking with a cane. And the cane clicks as they walk. And they stop in the sort of area that you're looking for. And you hear a rap on the door as you see and there's a short space, and you can see a slit open in the doorway, and a yellow light just comes through this letterbox at a high level. It closes, and the door opens, and this guy goes in.
Right. Just to say, I do have hypersensitive hearing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Given that, would I have been able to hear?
When the door opened, you can hear strange, different noises from inside. You're outside, you can hear like the Thames, the water of the Thames lapping at the bank, and just outside. That's all you can really hear because it's really quite quiet. Inside, when the door opens, you can hear soft music. You can hear people talking in low murmuring voices, and there's a yellow glow that falls across the street as the door opens and then disappears as it closes again.
So the man knocking on the door, he didn't say anything to the person who opened
He
this.
didn't say anything, no.
Damn. I was hoping there's some sort of password to get in. It's looking like he got recognised. Is there an upper window?
There is upper windows to the building, yes, but they're all dark.
That's good. It means there's less chance of me being seen. I'd like to climb up to one.
Okay. So what are you using to climb up to one then?
This is when I realise I don't actually have climb. I do, however, have athletics.
Okay. So it's athletics and your burglary skill. Is it a burglary skill you have?
No, I don't.
Do you have a lot like a housebreaking or lock picking skill or something? Is that what
I
you
have lock picking.
Okay. So we say you can make it to a window, but you have to use a lock picking to get to the window, to open the window.
Okay, just a straight one.
Yeah.
Picklocks and widths.
Yeah, it's not difficult. It's just a basic window. It's not security barred or anything.
Any black die on this?
No.
Two successes.
2 successes. Okay, after a bit of fiddling around, you actually managed to open the window. It's a sash window, so you slide the bottom part up. It's quite,
Exactly. I heard that sound.
yeah, you slide this bottom part up, and inside is complete inky darkness. You lift your leg over the windowsill and you climb inside. Obviously, you have to remove your hat as you go through.
Yeah.
You find yourselves in like a clerk's room for the warehouse.
Make my way over to the door.
You can make your way over to the door, yes.
If it's locked, use the pick locks on it either way, or if it's not, slowly,
Okay.
gently open the door.
You can see a light outlining the door. So
Keep
someone,
it open. Keep it open just a little. Give it a crack.
it does open, and you can see a warehouse with packing crates, lines and lines of packing crates, and there are a few people busily going between packing crates. Even though most of the docks are completely quiet at this time, there are some people unloading on some packing crates and opening them up. They seem to be walking towards a door in the corner of the warehouse.
Make a mental note of its position.
Yeah, okay. So from you, it's to your right from where you are. And it seems to be roughly, if maybe roughly above the door you've seen the guy going into below.
Right. So it's directly above, thereabouts.
Yeah, thereabouts. Not directly above, but pretty approximate.
Okay. How many people do I see?
4 or
Offhand.
5.
4 or 5.
They all appear to be Oriental.
Okay. I will make my way back out again.
Okay, as you're about to exit the window, you see a couple walking along the street, and they stop below you. And again, you hear and then there's a big square of light shines across the street and then disappears.
Okay. Head out the window, close it best I can, but not fully. I want to leave a small crack
Okay.
at the bottom and then climb down and go back to the rest of them.
Okay, so wherever the rest of you are waiting, Mr. Chamberlain comes back to you after his reconnaissance.
Right. There seems to be there's about 4 or 5 Oriental gentlemen seem to be working on moving large crates. There is an office. There's a small door that people use a particular knocking sequence to open. The only thing I couldn't ascertain is whether that door just opens on its own or whether the person who opens a little slit actually recognizes the people before they let them in. We might have to chance that.
Well, just stand out of view of the slot then.
Well, there's that.
You would assume that if there is a slit to look out, then it wouldn't be particularly functional if it was just for show. So they must be checking to see who it is.
Yeah. I was able to gain entrance into the warehouse without using that door, obviously.
Right, well, I tell you what, seeing as you said there's 5 of them, I got the 6 shotgun cartridges. One's for the door.
Well, why can't we just have Nathaniel go in the way he went and then make his way over to the front door and let us in?
We could do that.
We could do that, hoping it doesn't. Um, mm,
How do the people inside react when the door is knocked?
yeah.
That I didn't see.
Also, do you know how to get from the first floor to the entrance door?
Yes.
Jump down?
Well, a slightly more subtle descent, but essentially, yes.
No, I mean inside of the house. You know, corridor, stairs, etc. For you to get down from the first floor to the ground floor.
Yes.
Beside the knock, did you make out anything particular about the knocking people attire, or
They were
They were quite well dressed.
richly dressed.
okay?
They were wearing their
And
finery.
did you make out if they were greeting in some particular way before getting in?
No, there was no words passed between the people outside the door and whoever opened the slit.
Was it 2 or 3 people who went in?
3 overall.
There was one before I entered the building, and then another 2 just as I was coming back out again.
It just seems like quite a lot of people for one night's work.
Well, if we're right and they were considering some sort of sacrifice or something of that nature, then maybe these are the audience.
You know that this is the known open den for the Tong.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the rich dressed people were there to buy supplies or
Spend an
buying
hour
shares.
or so. Spend an hour or 2 just
Yeah,
chilling.
either that or buying shares of the profits of the opium racket. They could be there for a number of reasons.
Could be. Yes, I mean, I can certainly head back in and attempt to get to the front door. However, I do think Mrs. Roscar's "let's blast the hell out of it with a shotgun" plan has genuine merit.
Well, we don't know how many people are in there in total. There could be all sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And they could easily call reinforcements.
Well, what you have to remember is most of the people in there are either going to be Tong or very rich.
Or very high.
In either case, removing them is not a loss.
Yeah, thing is, I'm not feeling comfortable in letting Nathaniel getting in again. Hopefully not finding obstacles on its way on the entrance door to let us in.
What is it we're hoping to achieve here? We want to find out what they wanted the kids for, right?
Was there anything in this office that you saw, Nathaniel?
Not in the office I was in, but there was some movement in an office above the door. However, I didn't think I could reach that office without being spotted. And I thought discretion was the better part of valor at this point.
Yes.
If I'm spotted, then they're alerted to the possibility of someone attempting something.
Yeah, thing is, either we go with Nathaniel's plan, which I'm not fond of, or we do find a way to find another entrance on the ground floor, because I'm definitely not athletic enough to climb on the facade of a building, or
There
bullshit
is
our way in.
there is the option of, given that everyone that has turned up has been in their finery, that I simply dress in my very best attire and knock on the door. I know the
And I'll
particular.
sneak in and shoot them all from behind.
Preferably when I'm out of the way.
It could be collateral.
Yes, I wouldn't want to.
Yes, you can even rest your shotgun on your shoulder if you don't want to hear anything again.
We didn't say I'd shoot them from behind, Nathaniel, GM. I said I'd sneak in and shoot them from behind.
Okay.
I mean, it's entirely possible I could get the door open at the very least, and then I don't know, come back some 5 minutes later to unlock the door for you guys, or once they open the door, we just rush in.
I think the answers may lie in this office upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah, that could
Or-
be ledgers, letters,
Yes.
whatever.
And I'd be
Or-
more than happy to go through them all quite thoroughly, but I will need some sort of distraction.
Like someone shooting a big shotgun in the main.
Well, yes.
That
Or
would
we
set-
might
Preferably a little longer than that, though.
Or we might as well just nick them.
I have an alternative plan.
Oh no.
Which is...
Why don't we contact the Tong and offer to sell them the children that they're after?
Okay, so you think that would work then? One night they lose the kids. The next night someone just calls them. Oh, we know you lost something. We got that. Can we sell
Right.
it back to you?
And we arrange a meeting in a public place where there's lots of opportunities for them to send people. And then whilst they're coming to see us, we go to see them.
A distraction maneuver. So draw them out and
It's an interesting thought.
There's a lot less shooting involved if they're all the other
Or-
side of London.
Hmm.
Look, I'm still going. I'm still going. What I think is a perfectly good battle plan. We all stand behind you, and just you have your shotgun, and we'll just wheel you along.
That's great, but we're going to need to do a lot of investigating inside. And the moment
we
I
are.
start shooting a shotgun, there's going to be policemen coming,
Precisely.
which limits our
Yes.
time. So
Well,
let's
Steve-
get them out of the building.
there will be policemen on the beat in the area, totally. Now, typical Met beats during the night used to last 3/4 of an hour.
Right, so we either set fire to another building and some poor hapless bastard dies in their sleep, but it gets the police over there, or we get everyone out so we don't need to go shooting.
So yeah, if you wait till the policeman's gone past you for 20 minutes, he's on the far side of his beat when something happens, obviously.
Yeah, I keep forgetting this is the day of the Bobby on the beat.
Mhm.
Do we know if the Tong has some sort of heavy-handed rivalry with another gang?
Oh, you've not asked that, but you can investigate that if you'd like. You could check papers. You could ask in the area, or
I could
pubs and
check my
such,
sources, I suppose.
newspapers, even the police.
Mhm.
Because one thing I was thinking of is, and it will definitely keep them busy, is to either get them fighting with each other with guns, of course, or at least get them talking to each other by maybe claiming to be this other gang and say, we have the children.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be able to ascertain very quickly that the children are not back with the parents,
Mm-hmm.
which would lend credence to that.
Yeah. So how do you want to approach that? Do you want to ask like a journalist or
We'll ask
check
the
the
Bobby
tape?
when he comes past.
Yeah, we could actually.
Good.
Yes, that's probably a bit more low profile. I don't want a
We
journalist
can
going
bribe him
in.
to fuck off at the same time.
Yeah, it's not quite the Met yet, but
maybe ask a couple of bartenders in the local area as well.
Yeah.
okay. So, are you going to ask the Bobby as he comes past on his beat? How are you approaching that then? As he's walking along, he's got his cape on and his bullseye lantern.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, ma'am.
A pleasant
Anything-
evening, isn't it?
It's a bit of a pea super, but quite warm.
Now, I was wondering, I gather to understand, or whatever words I'm going to say in hiffly biffly piffy speak, because I'm pretending to be posh, that this area, I gather, has a gang problem with those tongs. Is that right?
They have been an issue in the past, ma'am. Yes, so we try to keep a lid on it, but they're sneaky devils.
Is it just the tongs in this area?
Wow, no, certainly not. There's a couple of other rival gangs, obviously. The Irish are obviously quite prevalent. Big area for the Irish in Whitechapel. It's
Don't
not
be
far
fooled
away.
by my accent. I'm actually Cornish.
Oh, are you? Ah. I didn't realise. The Irish is obviously a big problem. They have a big base in Whitechapel, which is very close. And obviously the Tong is trying to move into, always trying to move into that area, more business. But there has been some trouble, but it's not too bad. We try to keep a lid on it.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I mean,
There's a bonus, if I say so myself. I've been walking around by myself for 30 minutes without being accosted.
Well, you want to be
Feel
careful.
completely safe.
You want to be careful, ma'am. It can be a dangerous area at night.
Oh, I think you've done a great job. I feel totally safe around here.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Oh, I think you should be commended. Possibly even have a bonus.
I don't think we get bonuses, but
Did
accommodation.
you
would be-
not?
Well,
Well, I
would be
should
very
probably sort that out myself. And I rummage around and say, here we go, have a pound.
good. I'm afraid I can't accept that, madam.
What is a bonus for keeping people safe?
No, I mean, I couldn't accept that. I'm afraid.
It's not a bribe.
I understand it's not a bribe, but if anyone saw me taking such a sum, it'd be.
Oh, I see what you're saying, and I accidentally drop it on the ground and walk off. Now, with any luck, he's going to go and start spending that in the boozer.
He sort of picks it up and goes. And he'll pocket that.
Yeah, so hopefully he's going to be more than 45 minutes before he's back.
Yeah, so he's wandered off. Back on his beat.
So are the Irish.
The Irish.
Well, here's the problem. I think contacting the Irish is a good idea. I think Mrs. Roscar should do the talking. She's the only one who's even come close to an Irish accent.
Are you suggesting doing some sort of double lie? So tell each of them that the other has got the kids.
I would certainly suggest that there is a rumor regarding the fact that they've grabbed these children. That it would definitely help their business. If they keep a hold of them, something like that. I'm not sure.
Not sure the Irish would care.
Well, the thing is, if they're worried about the Tongs encroaching on territory, anything that actually strengthens the Tong, even in their own heads, has got to be seen as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
But what we don't want is for the Irish just to visit Limehouse, because then it was pointless. We need to get the Tong out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's easier to do it the other way.
Yeah.
But tell the Tong the Irish have got the kids.
I'm actually just thinking of writing that on a bit of paper right now, doing the tap, and at the moment that letterbox opens, stuff it through the window.
Just an anonymous note. Make it out to
The
be from
Irish
the
have
Irish.
kids. And then run off around the corner before they can get the door open.
Yeah, up to you. That's what we want to do.
It's one way of doing it.
Are there any wanted posters in the area?
What sort of wanted posters are you?
Well,
criminals?
specific gang members, especially from the Irish side.
There's not. No, there's a fair amount of graffiti in the area, but no actual official wanted posters as such.
Okay. Is there any sort of official tag that the gangs use? And please don't say it's a four-leaf clover.
Oh, the Irish, you mean?
It's a leprechaun.
Black and white rainbow.
It's a leprechaun on stilts.
Because I suggest we use that.
We'll say it is. It'll be like just 3 stripes. It'll just be the Republican flag.
Okay.
So are you writing that on a letter? A note, and what are you putting on the note?
We should do it from the point of view of the Irish rather than just they have the kids. It makes it more emotive, more provoking.
You've got the kids.
Yes.
Ask for... Right, we need to find the name of a Tong and demand that person comes, like, as if that person's offended an Irish person, you see. So, like, we'll find the name of a Tong and we'll say, we've got the kids, we're going to kill them unless you send us on the name of a random Tong gang member.
Higher up, the better.
Yeah.
Not too high up. No, you want right, because the thinking isn't that it's a gang war to trigger a gang. The thing is like, right, the Irish are pissed off. This is why they've done it. They want to get this guy who must have offended them, and then the boss would, as that's how we trigger it.
Yeah. Okay. So how are you going to contact the Tong? Get to know the Tong in that sort of
to find out one of their names.
Yeah, you could go into the opium den, or you could maybe rifle for the records, but that could be a bit random whether it's just a name or a Tong member.
Not that I know anything about what goes on in an opium den and how it works, but if, say, Nathaniel, a new client, wanted to go and get high for a little while, do they just put you in a room, or do you smoke with other people?
Only
been a
one
while.
room. God, how many rooms do you think they have?
Well, like I said, I don't know how it works. I wouldn't possibly know.
Yeah, don't do anything funny. No.
So let me have a quick look at the sheet. What we got? It's probably going to be another for perception wits, isn't it? No,
The other
no,
possibility is if there's
no,
local bars to the area of that warehouse, they'd probably know some of the tongue.
Wits resolve.
Drop a name.
Possibly, we might be able to overhear a name, but then if they're not speaking English, we might not detect the name. I have an idea.
Well, if you
Why
want to
not go
do
to the post office
perception wits roll a second.
or find the name of the
Yeah,
owner
why
of the
not?
building and records
Anyone?
of it.
Oh,
He gone.
I kicked him out. I thought we'd do better without the GM.
Oh, I'm gonna roll anyway.
what was the perception?
I missed
perception
it.
wits?
No, that was me.
Who's
sorry.
doing perception wits?
Perception wits.
All of
All
us?
of us.
Yeah, all of you.
All right. Okay.
Just to
Any
see
black,
what-
any black die on this?
No black dice, just to see what you know about open dens.
Yeah, I got fuck all.
Ooh, I have not fuck all.
So, Mr. Clarkson,
You roll ones and sixes, and you re-roll sixes, right?
Sixes, yep.
Yes.
Right. Three successes then.
Oh, we've got a 3, a 4, and a 5. Okay,
Yes,
so
5.
apparently
I was
Mrs.
feeling-
Roscar
I was feeling quite chuffed with that 3.
and the supposedly innocent Mr. Clarkson seems to know an awful lot about open dens.
I know nothing.
He is being told by friends.
yes, research purposes.
Yeah, Clark Lawrenson, a very close friend of his, knows everything about opium dens.
So basically, they tend to be out of the way, fairly rundown areas where people go. English gentry down to sort of like anyone that can scrape the money together. You go in, there are several chairs or beds or something. You get a pipe, you smoke it, you collapse on the bed for a couple of hours, and then you go. It's very low level. There might be some more upmarket ones in the West End, but in this sort of area, it will be sort of basements and disused houses and sort of stuff. But it'll be run generally by a certain person who's collecting the cash, who will run the house, look after you while you're there, and then kick you out when you've had your trip.
Okay, it's not a particularly social affair.
Not particularly social. There'll be other people that you can interact with. Obviously, you might even, with people in this sort of like a more maybe unaware state, you might be able to get more out of people if they're actually drugged up. You might certainly overhear names.
Do
things.
do the establishment staff also partake, or do they have to be completely free of opium?
But the staff of the open den.
Yeah.
They'll be clean.
Clean. Okay.
Yeah. Be like the barman swinging it.
They'll probably have other members of the gang high in there, because whilst the people who work the den will be clean because they won't touch the stuff, but there'll be people like in other parts of the organisation that will be being controlled by that manner.
More than likely, yes. So there's quite a lot of intelligence you could perhaps gather within the den, certainly.
I guess it's time to put the glad rags on.
And who's going in?
Hopefully Nathaniel, given he's getting changed.
Yeah, I don't believe I have the right attire to blend in with the usuals.
Yeah, I'm
Since
sure
I'm
I could
not
find
high
something
class.
in your size.
Well, I mean, Mr. Clarkson and Mrs. Roscar will know that it spans a broad range of society. So certainly middle class up would be able to afford to go. The lower classes, their thing is gin, beer, and then middle classes up will be more of the higher class sort of spirits, whiskey, gin, whiskey and brandy and such, and then opium. So it's unlikely that the really sort of unless you're addicted, the lower class people would tend more to cheap alcohols rather than.
Okay, so if that suffices, I might just dress nice and accompany Nathaniel.
Yep.
Okay, two of you going in. What is Mr. Clarkson and Miss Roscar doing? Oh, they're all going in fact.
We might as well.
Yeah, fuck it. There's nothing. Oh, hang on, sorry. Oh, fuck it. There's nothing a rich person can do that I can't do. I say, looking at Nathaniel with the side eye.
I'm happy to smoke some opium. I will use my own pipe.
Yeah, sure, you can do that. Okay. So you travel back to the warehouse and you approach the door where Nathaniel has seen people enter.
Yeah.
And you do your knock, Nathaniel. And a slit opens in the door, and the door you see is actually quite a solid wood door and banded with metal, so it's quite solid. The slit opens up, and you see these pair of eyes appear in the slit, and he looks around at each of you, and it closes again. And there's a second before you hear some bolts being thrown, and the door opens, and this warm, perfumed air rolls over all of you as you enter. And it closes behind you, and it's an Oriental guy, quite large, squat but large. That's operating the door, and
Mr. Chan.
And I
literally address him incorrectly to see if he corrects me. You see,
he doesn't. He just bows and points down the hall.
Don't tolerate racism like that. Object. Correct me.
Customer's always right.
Damn it.
And you walk down the short corridor, and it's sort of like a wood-panelled half-height, and there's peeling paper on the walls and peeling plaster on the ceilings. Gas lights along the corridor. The floors creak a little bit underfoot, but as you come to a room at the end of the corridor, a small, wizened Oriental woman appears, and she bows in front. Very pleased to see you. Very pleased to see you. What can we do for you this evening?
Well, my companions and I have had a most stressful evening of gaming, and we'd like to take a load off. I believe the expression is. We'd like to relax here for a little while.
Ah, you chase dragon, she says. And I just put a bit of a picture in the messenger just to give you a sort of indication how the scene you see in front of you. The room in front of you is a bit more dressed up than the hall you've walked down. You see Western people lying on couches around with small tables next to them with some paraphernalia on it. There's quite a lot of men. They're smoking. There's a few women. There's a lantern hanging in the middle of the room, Chinese lantern, and you see some Chinese servants walking between different beds, delivering drinks or more pipes and things. And she says, yes, come in. We find a place for you.
Thank you. You're most kind.
And she says, you don't be here before.
No. First time here.
Ah, right. Yes, we look after you. Everything fine, she says. She shows you to like 4 couches over one side of the room. Just as you're walking in, quite an old looking Chinese guy walks past the group and walks into Mr. Clarkson.
Do you mind?
And he bows quite a few times and then stumbles off into like a side room. Can you
I
roll me
was going to say I quickly check my pockets just in case he's taken something.
Okay. If you check your pockets, you find something. You find a hard card in your pocket.
A card. Okay.
A card. You just feel it in your pocket. Are you taking it out now, or are you just leaving it for a second?
Can I maybe try and have a little glance at it without,
Okay,
getting out with a flourish
you
sort
feel it in your pocket, and it feels like a visiting card or a business card sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, maybe I'll take a look at it later when I'm settled.
Yeah, okay. And he stumbles off to the other side. But if you roll me a wit's perception.
Yeah.
All of us?
No, just Jayson.
Jayson.
Okay. None.
None. Okay. So you just he just seemed to be out of his head. He just stumbled into you. You don't seem to make much more of it that apart from this thing you found in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And just shown over to these couches. They do seem a little bit dirty. They're not the cleanest things you've ever seen. But you're sort of encouraged to lie down on them, and she ushers over this servant with drinks and pipes.
Oh.
And she brings out a lit. It's like a lit stick, like I forgot what you call them now, like a taper. So it's always lit. It's just stuck in a little pot of sand, so you can pick it up and light your pipe all the time. It just keeps burning, like a joss stick, and it doesn't smell.
I just realized I got enhanced smell, so I'm probably already kind of hungry now.
Yeah, you're smelling a lot of opium in the room. There's people there puffing away. There's the top of the room is just like full of smoke.
I think I turn to the lady and I say, I think my poor friend here is a little overwhelmed. I think we'll have the drinks first. We'll deal with the pipes later.
What do you want to drink?
Water.
Water, yes. Water, yes.
I will have a brandy.
I'm not.
Brandy.
Mrs. Roscar?
Well, I wouldn't do something as dangerous as water. That's ridiculous. You need to brew your drink to make it safe,
Straight from the Thames.
We'll have the strongest spirit you can bloody find.
I will have half a porter.
Half a porter. And she wanders off, and within a few minutes, a guy turns up. There's a jug of water for Mr. MacCormick. There's a glass of brandy. It's in the wrong type of glass, Mr. Chamberlain.
Just can't get the service.
Mrs. Roscar, you have a really healthy measure of gin, fucking massive thing here, and Mr. Clarkson, you actually have a pint rather than a half a porter.
How did I guess?
Well. Chin chin.
The pipes are placed in front of you on the table amongst your couches, and with this lit taper ready for you to start smoking. if you want to roll me, we should roll me Whip's perception, everybody.
How many black dice do I get?
3 black dice on this one.
For all of us?
Yeah, for everybody.
Oh, God.
Even though I'm kind of high, I just get 3.
You just get 3.
Okay.
You just listen to general background conversation. You might even hear other stuff. You never know. Mr. MacCormick.
0.
Okay, so I got a
Oh,
grand
this-
total of 2.
2.
If it's listening, I've got hard of hearing. Thanks very much.
If it helps, I've got ultra sensitive hearing.
Oh, okay. That's still not too bad. That's 2 successes from me.
Okay. Oh, Mrs. Roscar,
think-
she's deaf. Oh, what?
No,
Oh.
she's wanting a piss break.
Oh, okay.
Well, you do the roll first. I was mostly reacting to the cat, but yes, a AFK break would be nice.
What'd you
I
get?
just sit so quite so cross-legged. I got a 2.
A 2. Okay. Couple 2s, 3. Okay.
And bugger all.
Okay, we'll take a break there then.
Oh, wait.
Yep.
See
So
you.
you
Alright.
are then.
Bye.
See you in 5.
Okay. So who's going to be the first to smoke?
I mean, I highly doubt it's going to be Lawrence. I think he's going to make an excuse to use his own pipe for hygiene purposes.
Okay, I think Mr. MacCormick might already be getting there, actually.
I don't mind taking a hit for the team.
I do it the moment Nathanial does.
Okay. So, Mr. MacCormick, are you smoking?
I already am, since I got into the den.
Yeah, if you've got a high sense of smell, then you already, it's affecting you already, certainly.
Yeah, so I guess that's plenty.
Oh God, is it going to be just me in a sober state by the end of the night? Am I going to have to be dragging you all out?
That's not my fault.
I was looking more at the other two. You can't really help it.
Yeah.
Mrs. Roscar and Nathan, has your characters ever done anything like this before?
No.
No.
So it's just the mushrooms from Mrs. Roscar.
Homegrown mushrooms.
An entirely new experience for me.
Okay, so you all rolled there. So you do hear the woman that showed you in and gave you your seats. You do see someone come up to her and say, "J. Lee says the shipment's ready." That's just
Lawrence. Lawrence, I need paper and a pen.
Do you need me to write the name down for you?
Takes the first hit, and you all lightheaded and fall back on the couch.
I suppose I could give you one of my notebook pages.
Thank you.
Mr. Clarkson's sitting upright on his couch, sipping his beer.
I'll do it later.
Mr. MacCormick, you're sort of lying down. You are feeling the effects, even if you're not smoking. You're feeling the effects of just being in the general room, but not as bad as Mrs. Roscar and Nathan is.
We've got some bloody good brandy here. It's just. Toby, you're going to have to take some of this, you know.
And you hear Toby. Oh yeah, and you hear the woman then, Lawrence probably. You also might hear it in sort of like a very distant, disjointed way. But Lawrence, you hear the woman saying back to him. She says, "Oh, tell Chang to bring it down. We've got a lot of people in tonight."
Huh. So he actually was called Chang. I will let Mrs. Roscar know when she feels better.
I'm still clutching the note, the bit of paper I blagged off you, but I never got around to writing down the thing I wanted to write down.
Can't you? Well, you might be able to. You might still be able to scroll on it. It might be a bit blurred and a bit, but
no, I can't be asked.
Can't be asked now. Okay, so yeah, you start puffing on the pipe and you're going out of it. Mr. Lawrence, you while no one's looking, you're sitting there. Everyone else is a bit spaced out around you. You're the only person in the room sitting upright with your drink. Everyone else is sort of like.
Well, I mean, I'm not that kind of aloof. I do know that we're supposed to be on these couches, so I don't sit completely upright. I do sort of lean back a little bit.
You lean back a bit, okay, but you're drinking your beer rather than.
Yes.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that, you just pull this card out of your pocket,
Hmm.
and written on the it's a properly printed, quite heavyweight card stock, and on the face of it, it has Sherlock Holmes, 221B, Baker Street, investigative detective.
I thought he was just a myth.
You were mistaken.
I mean,
Oh, sorry, I can't take credit for that one. That's from Buffy.
does it look legit, or is it one of these kind of it's blatantly been made up by somebody else and just?
It looks quite heavy card. It's quite expensive. Heavy card stock. It's quite a proper card. It's been printed by proper printers. It looks. I mean, if it was a fake, they'd spent a lot of money on it. Why would they do that?
There's no kind of like handwriting on it anywhere, is there?
There's
It's just
nothing else on it at all. No.
right. I'm very confused now. I hope I'm not getting affected by the opium either.
So yeah, you see a lot of people in the room, lying on the couches smoking, and Mr. Clarkson. You also see the Chinese guy that bumped into you walking back to his couch, and he lies down and starts puffing away at this pipe. He's maybe 2 or 3 people over from you. And you see a couple of other people get up occasionally. Occasionally, you see people get up and walk in the same direction he's gone, and you make the assumption that there is a toilet that way.
Okay. My next question was: are the staff just kind of milling in and out a little bit, or are they literally just watching people from?
No, they're milling around all the time. They're just
Okay.
bringing people drinks, extra pipes, all different sorts of things.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe a little bit of food occasionally if people ask for it. But yeah, they're just generally, and they're obviously taking money at the same time.
Okay, yeah. I think just to maybe thin them out a little bit, I will ask for the most elaborate drinks they have, food, blah de blah, and hopefully Nathaniel will pay for it on the other end.
In this
but just
state,
to-
he probably will.
Yeah, just to get them in the kitchen, that, and then once they go away, I'm gonna head to the toilet.
Okay.
Well, I am a
seriously-
dwarf, I do have a smaller bladder than most people.
Are you seriously claiming? Are you seriously claiming that you've got the munchies already?
Small stomach as well.
Yeah, so they'll say, certainly, they'll bow several times, and the drinks aren't overly elaborate. You probably get like best you'll get is like a cheap whiskey or a gin with maybe a small mixer in it.
Okay, it's more the drink that they've got that I know will take the longest to prepare or make.
Okay. What they will do is they will get you the food you ask for. You'll get a better rice with some fried chicken on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they go away to do that. So yeah, a couple of people leave the room to do that, and the people are away from your area.
Okay. I then take my leave to the ablutions with the aim to head upstairs.
Okay, so yeah, you walk back down the corridor where you came in from, and you can there's 2 doors in the left hand wall. One has a WC written on it, and the other one has private.
Okay. Does the private door have a keyhole I can peep through?
It doesn't. No.
Is it like a sort of conventional door, or is it more a sliding door?
No,
like
conventional door. Conventional door.
Okay, well, I'm also going to have a quick keek and hope that there's nobody on the other side.
Okay, so you're going to peek in,
Mhm.
and you just see a staircase. It's fairly well lit with gas lights, but there's a staircase going up to the next level.
Okay. I slip in.
You slip in and shut the door behind you.
Yeah.
You run up the staircase. There's a very similar door at the top. Behind this, you can hear some distant noises. Are you opening this door, looking around this door?
What kind of distant noises? As in talking, or?
You can hear some muttered speech, but it's sort of like things being banged, crates being banged around.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll also slowly open this door. If it's distant, then hopefully it's the next room along or something.
Okay, so when you open this door, you can see the same warehouse you saw from the. Oh, that's Nathaniel saw, wasn't it? You can see a warehouse that Nathaniel described earlier on.
Mm.
Some people working in the distance, moving crates and stuff.
Okay. Which floor of the warehouse am I on currently?
You're on the main floor now. Yeah.
So presumably there's some more stairs somewhere.
There's some stairs across in front of you, and you can see maybe a suite of offices at one end.
I had a feeling it would be across from me. Okay, well, fortunately, being quite short and hopefully the crates being quite large, I'm going to try and, cover behind as many stacked crates as possible to make my way over there.
Okay, so between you, there's the main bulk of crates going back to the warehouse with several corridors down the crates. There's a separate, smaller stack of crates towards the back of the warehouse. You can make a dash for those in a stealthy sort of way.
Well, I'm not particularly dashy and not particularly stealthy either.
Okay.
I may have to find an empty crate and just kind of, hold it up and just, go along, put it down, sort of thing.
Okay, so
why not?
There's plenty of empty crates around. Stuff has been taken out of them. So if you want to do something like that, maybe hide and sneak dexterity.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Roll.
That is still going to be 0 because that and the dex is also 0.
Okay, so you pull the crate over you, and you pick it up and you run with it.
I do have 2 athletics though, if that helps.
Okay, roll me 2 athletics then. Let's see what I get.
I made my wheels look like the word no, if I can make it.
1 success.
Okay, they got none because they get a success on the original roll, but they cancelled it with their black die. So
Is it because there's some plucked violin going on at the same time?
So you pull this crate over you, and you sort of pick it up, as you say, you move along, you drop it down, wait for the next person, you pick it up, you move along again, like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And then what can we roll for that? Have you got, what's your queen? No, that's different. What's your moon? No, that's different as well. Initiative. What's your initiative?
My initiative is 7.
7. Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, you move across the warehouse quite easily doing this with this method.
I hope this works on the way back too.
And you bump into the wall on the far side of the warehouse next to the office door.
Mm-hmm.
Next to you on one side on the right hand side is the office door. On the left hand side is the steps up to the next level.
Okay. I'm still tempted to go up for now. I can always try and get into the office down here on the way back, maybe.
Okay, so you tip the crate up and using
Yeah.
it as a shield to the
Yeah.
rest of the warehouse. You dive, you run up the steps.
Mhm.
Okay, at the top there's like a balcony running across the front of more offices.
Okay.
What are you going to do? Go into the first office?
Yeah, just the nearest office. Have a quick
turn-
check to make sure there's nothing in there. Well, no one in there.
Okay, you turn the handle of the office and it opens and you dive in. Inside it's a bit chilly and someone seems to have left the window open on the office a little bit.
Mhm.
But you seem to be in the clerk's office.
Ah,
Lots of paperwork and lots of ledgers and books.
I wonder if this is the room that Nathaniel got into. Okay. And as per a mystery thing in the chat, I'm gonna, well, certainly have a good look through everything, and anything worth stealing I pick up. Although bear in mind I've only got 2 hands.
Okay, so
You
it's
have
quite,
a lot of pockets.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite
Stuff
it's
them
quite
down
dark.
your breeks, down the shirt, everywhere. You got a lot of carry.
The only light you've got at the moment is the light from the open window from the room outside.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So you have to sort of like look at books, sort of glancing like that into the moonlight to shine the pages.
Yeah.
So let me see if we could do a roll for this, which is going to be. There's never anything quite right, is there? Really. Concentration.
I think we're just a bit unique.
Yeah. Well, no, you always want. Sometimes you think, oh, it should be a luck roll, and there's never a luck roll.
You just love the Call of Cthulhu system.
Yeah, it does. It's handy, isn't it? Though.
Yeah, it is.
Sneak haggling, general style, general knowledge. There's no sort of like bookkeeping or sort of like.
There is accounting, which I've got.
Oh, counting. Okay, roll me accounting with its associated skill,
Yeah,
whichever that is.
Yeah, I
So
think
we-
accounting might be I don't know if it's more specialist or it's not on the main thing.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. It's a specialty under wits.
So you're under your
Well, I still got nothing.
Oh,
God's sake.
okay. So you pick up books and books, and they're just numbers, ledgers and ledgers of ingoings and outgoings. It would take considerable amount of time to actually make any sense of them. You see several sort of like delivery notes for packages from the Far East for all sorts of things, tea and spices and jade and all sorts of different stuff.
Okay. I think
seems to be quite a lot of spices as well.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously, I'm not an expert in spices or tea or anything like that, but I think what I would do, since I know this is going to take me forever, I would just maybe look at the last couple of weeks or maybe even days if there's not time to do that, and just see if there's a regular client or a regular thing that's moved.
Okay, there seems to be, as you flip through the book, there's a regular shipment that comes in on a monthly basis that's registered as spice.
Just spice, not the actual
Spice.
name.
No, that's the name, just spice.
Well, that's ambiguous and unlegitimate as hell.
And it's a reasonable amount every month, and it seems to be the same amount every month.
Well, that'll be the opium, presumably.
It's like 5 crates. every
Maracas.
month.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And is there any letters that I find? Any open letters?
Yes, you can find some letters. You see a a letter from a police official, a superintendent, Jayson.
This is just
To
reminding me of the
Mr.
corporation game. Is his other name Hitler?
Yeah, to a Mr. Lee, saying they've not received payment for security in the last month.
Ah. Okay. Received
Corrupt police
payment.
force. Who knew?
So they're obviously getting hush money. Okay. And oh, you're giving me plenty of hints in the chat. I try not to look at these, but is there time for me to check to see if the Doyle family are mentioned anywhere in the ledgers?
Any
Was
what?
Mr.
Sorry.
Doyle a client at any point?
Any what? Sorry, what was it?
Was
Doyle.
Mr. Doyle a client here?
He's not a client, but from the paperwork, he appears to be a businessman for them. He's actually helping them. He's not a client. He's actually an associate.
Okay. And can I see any evidence of this relationship going sour recently?
Any evidence going sour? If you could roll me a perception wits, then.
Oh, yes, please.
3 black die.
Okay.
What did they say?
3 black dice. It's just 6s, isn't it, for black dice? Is that
Just
right?
6s, yeah.
Yeah, okay, 3 successes then.
3 successes, excellent.
Sweet.
Okay, so you see that he's mentioned in deliveries. Doyle delivered such and such. Doyle delivered such and such, which stops like 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Sounds like he'd had enough of the spice of life. And Lawrence sort of mutters to himself because he thinks that's an amazing joke. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. I think I'll put the ledgers back as carefully as I can and make the room look as it was.
Okay.
I'm so tempted to shut that window though, but I won't. Or actually, do I? But what if? Oh, actually, maybe I should.
No.
Yeah, you're not there. His thinking is, if somebody comes in and sees the shut window, the open window. Yes, he goes and shuts it because he's stubborn.
He shuts the window and locks it. Okay. And you're going back where you came? Or are you going to look for more offices?
I'm going to look through more offices, but feel free to jump back to the other 3. Just to give them a
Okay.
bit.
So, the stone 3 in the basement. Who's having the biggest trip? So, how are you handling this in the basement? There's things going on. You're pretty spaced out, but occasionally it's sort of like you sort of come back around and it wears off. Are you taking another puff on the pipe? And
Well, it started off that I just didn't want to be outdone by somebody that was upper class because I do have some issues. But I like this.
yeah, that's the catch. Yeah. It seems to work quite well with a little bit of alcohol as well. It's very comfortable, very relaxing. Probably all your cares are just flooded away. Whether Dr. Archibald MacCormick is treating this as more of a medical with more of a medical mind is a bit. I don't know. Are you more interested in some of research?
I assume that given that I am an alienist, so I'm studying mental illnesses and inner behaviors, etc., I might have experimented in psychotrope substances.
Very possibly, yeah.
Yeah, so I also have seen already the effects on different kinds of people from walks of life with opium and whatnot. So I guess I'm just enjoying the trip, even though it's not really a self-imposed one, since I'm not actually smoking, but I am getting secondhand smoke. And I'm just really I just wait for 5 minutes until Mr. Clarkson is gone away, and say, "Oh, maybe we should go and check the office thingy. The what the fuck is Lawrence?"
And as you're doing that, actually, you see, you notice a person come over to Mr. Chamberlain and sort of like maybe start checking his pockets as he's lying on the couch, as he's the best dressed out of all of you.
Yeah, I stand up. I'm slow. I'm not fucked up. I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how to say that more politely than I already am. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't realise. I was just looking for something. And he hands you Nathaniel's wallet.
I say, I would be bloody ticked off if I wasn't so merry.
I'll try and find a way in his wallet to get small change and give it to the man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'll grasp that and he'll sort of like he'll rush off with that, and he'll try and buy another pipe with it.
I lean towards Nathaniel. Put the wallet back in his vest coat, where the hell that was, and
You have very gentle hands.
Mrs. Roscar, you see while that Dr. MacCormick is putting Nathan's wallet back in his coat, the old woman takes the money from the guy that's just rushed over to her. She takes the money from him, and because he's stolen from Nathan Chamberlain, she gets him chucked out, but she keeps the cash. This big burly sort of Oriental comes in and grabs him and picks him up and just out the door.
Yeah, well, I'd have enjoyed that more if he'd actually got away with the wallet.
So basically, you three just stoned out your mind for the next couple of hours.
I have to say that I would be extremely miffed at what you just said, except I just want to have another puff.
So, Mr. Clarkson, back to you. You check another couple of offices.
Yeah, I do keep an eye on my watch, though.
Okay.
I do have time sense as well as a talent, but
how long are you looking to spend doing this?
Well, yeah, that's it. Because if I know that it's getting close to us being kind of not escorted out, but kind of sent on our way, then I won't look at any more. But if I do have time,
maybe you've got half an hour then.
Half an hour, okay.
So you do check another couple of offices. The majority of it is basically export-import of just general stuff. You find the odd Tong-related thing, import of illegal things, maybe even import of people. They bring Tong over as like ship workers, as like sailors, but they never go back. They just stay and work for the Tong. Sort of idea. Obviously, they're dealing in drugs and other contraband. There's a lot of jade, a lot of artifacts brought in from China, and it seems that there's a lot of mail to and from China about a missing dragon, a jade dragon.
Oh. Okay. Do I have time to read any of these letters?
You can read it, yes. Apparently, it's a very special dragon, very ancient. It's been passed down by they say it's been passed down by the emperors of China for a number of centuries. It's coming to the hands of the Tong during some uprising. They were shipping it around the world to different Tong groups. But when it's got to London, it's actually gone missing.
Ah. Did it go missing about 3 weeks ago?
The latest date on the paperwork is 3 weeks ago.
Well, how did I guess? Looks like we need to speak to this father. Because if he doesn't give it back, his children are going to be taken regardless. Okay, I try to remember as much as possible in the letter. Again, eidetic memory, so I believe that gives me a little boom with that. Yeah, again, try and put the letters back where they were as much as possible, and then I will make my way back to my esteemed druggies.
Okay, you make it down the stairs and you pull the crate back over your head, and you hear a couple of shouts. The small pile of crates separate to the rest of the stuff. You hear someone shouting, "Chang, Chang, get that stuff downstairs now!" And he goes to a crate and leaves the top off with a small crowbar. He takes out a number of packages, which he takes about 5 off the top of the thing, puts the lid back on the crate, and takes them through the door you're going to go down.
Okay, as in towards me, you mean, not from behind?
Away from you, away, because where you are, you're back against the offices. So he walks. He's in between you and the door downstairs.
Right. Okay, but he's not seen me.
No, he's not seen you. He picks up the packages from the crates and he goes downstairs.
Okay.
Are you gonna do your hopping across the room again, shuffling across the room?
Potentially. But I feel like that's only going to work once.
Oh shit! That's not good, is it?
Oh, maybe not.
No, that's not good. That's really not good. Okay, so you shuffle across the room, and as you get to the far side, the door opens again, and this Chang comes back out. I've rolled absolutely appallingly there. He didn't get any successes at all. So he opens the door and comes back out into the warehouse, and he sort of looks down at the crate you're in. Sort of like, oh, don't notice that before. Shuts the door and wanders back off into the warehouse.
I can't believe that worked more than once.
Yeah, he just felt really, really badly. And you can lift your crate back up and sneak back down through the door and downstairs.
Okay. I think at that point, to try and get the 3 moving, if it's not time yet, I'll complain about an upset stomach, and that's the reason why I've been stuck in the toilet for so long.
Okay, as you're right back at your couch,
watch my belly.
There's a bowl of white rice with chicken, fried chicken over the top, and a couple of like what do you call them? I forget what they're called now. Chopsticks stuck in the side.
Mm-hmm.
And your cocktail and your drink is there, waiting for you on the table as you get back to your couch. And the rest of the other 3 are just like,
okay. If there's anyone like waiting for me to eat the food, I just go.
There's no one waiting to eat the food. They've just dropped it on you.
All right.
And
hey, you 3, will you get a grip?
I have a perfectly good grip. Thank you very much.
I've been looking for you for hours.
Well, apparently I'm very good at hiding in boxes now. Let's go. We've got stuff to do.
The chicken just came. All right.
Look, we'll take the
Miss?
food with us. How about that?
Miss, could we have this to go?
And the woman comes over to you and she says, "Oh, you leaving?" And she snaps her fingers. Please, before you go, have a drink of water before you go. And she'll give you all. Brings a carafe over with like 4 glasses. Drink before you go. Don't.
Chin chin.
I'm gonna pretend I kind of misunderstand, and instead I will just use the water to kind of splash on my face rather than actually drink it.
Okay. Okay, she doesn't make anything of that. She's just a bit, whatever you want to do.
Get out handkerchief, Dad. Thank you very much. That's much better.
If you're ready to go, she says, and she sort of like helps you, each of the 3, Mrs. Roscar and Nathaniel and Archibald, off the settees, helps you to stand up, even though she's sort of like twice your age.
Ooh.
If it's 3 couches, it's more people she can have in.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure there's plenty more people.
The food looks absolutely scrumptious. I must have it.
Yes, we will have it back at yours. There's things to discuss.
Okay.
And you're shown the door, and once you're through the door, you quite ceremoniously sort of shut out in the cold. And it is cold compared to inside. This is quite cold and misty weather.
Oh, that's bracing.
That will wake you up.
Thank God. You sound more like yourselves again.
Mr. MacCormick, your head starts to clear a little bit because you don't know if you partook as deeply as the other 2.
Thank fuck. Oh, I
How
wasn't
does
expecting that.
How does Mrs. Roscar? How do you feel about this? Did you like that, or?
I think we should see if they've got any other opium dens. So I think we should see if they've got any other dens.
Maybe tomorrow.
She wants to open a
How
franchise.
can we be sure?
She's going to put a franchise in Tunbridge Wells, obviously.
I just sort of push them towards Nathaniel's cart.
Yes. Although, is your carriage driver here, Nathaniel?
Sorry, carriage. I beg your pardon, carriage.
Cart?
Is your carriage driver here? Does Lawrence have to do it?
Oh,
For God's sake, I have to do everything.
Come on, mate.
Home, my good man.
Myself.
Home. I want this chicken fried ricey thingy.
Yeah, drug driving's as bad as drunk driving.
I don't think I'm of the right frame of mind to drive right now.
Okay, so you stop them all in the back and they all pass out on the inside the carriage.
If you want something doing, do it yourself. And I just sort of slam the carriage door.
Right.
Yeah,
Stop. Hold on. Stop. You're going too fast.
How is your carriage driving, Mr. Clarkson?
I don't actually think it is that good, surprisingly. Let's see.
In our state, will we notice?
There isn't like a drive carriage skill, is there?
There's not a drive carriage skill. No, there's what is there? What is there? Perception.
Not the main skills anyway.
No, there's not.
I do have an incredible sense of direction, though, so at least I know where I'm going.
Okay, so yeah, we'll say you do find your way back home.
I might just not give a crap if we're going on cobbles or not.
But yeah, you're quite rough across the cobbles. You do bounce off the curb a couple of times, and everyone in the back is.
It's a specialty, drive carriage and the wits.
Okay. Oh, I've got decent wits, so.
I'll give you a wits roll then. Just
Let's see how much they throw up inside.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 success.
1 success. Give me another one.
Okay. You just want me to fail so badly, don't you?
No?
Another 1 success.
Okay, another one and another one.
Oh, for God's sake. What is this countdown?
No, I don't.
Okay, 0 successes.
0 successes. Okay.
Boom.
Okay, so Mrs. Roscar and Ronnie, after this ride through the streets, you are feeling quite ill. It's been a pretty rough ride. I'm afraid, Mr. MacCormick, you've actually thrown up in a carriage.
Oh no.
Oh, that's why you got me to roll 3 times. I see. Cheeky bastard.
Yeah, the driving has not been that smooth. You've been rocked around, and you just, and you have
Again, it's not my fault.
It's not your fault, but all over Nathaniel's carriage. His confidence
Nathaniel
is
is
ruined.
past that cold.
He is. He's yeah. It's not been an easy trip. It's not been an easy trip for all 3 of you, but I think Lawrence thinks he's done quite a good job, really. But
Yeah, I believe that'd be Toby's job tomorrow morning.
Job.
Maybe a little too fast across the cobbles. Taking these corners a little bit too quickly.
I blame Toby completely.
That's
He
good.
just brings out the worst in me.
But you get them back to Nathaniel's place, and you can knock on the door and get some aid to get them inside. Jayson.
Yep, I certainly will.
Are we there?
Yes, now get inside quickly.
Right.
You can have your fried chicken.
I take one look at it and realise there's probably not much difference between that and the contents of MacCormick's innards that have just come up in the middle of the carriage and decided
they're a little bit too heavy to get up the stairs to the bedrooms, so you and the servants actually just leave them in the living room on the settees and chairs. Just leave it off.
There's been a slight accident. Going to need a bit of cleaning in the carriage.
Yeah, Toby can figure that out.
You see the servant's shoulders just.
I knew it wasn't me this time.
Whose carriage did we come back in?
Mine.
Nathaniel's.
How very sensible. The one that had the driver, not the one with the shotgun. Still inside it, parked next to Nathaniel's.
Oh, was it? I can't remember. You can go pick it up tomorrow, I expect.
If it's still there.
In the morning, you sort of like you wake up. You're a bit blurry-eyed, the 3 of you. Otherwise, fairly clear-headed.
What a lovely morning! I just open all the.
Yeah. Dr. is feeling hungry.
I give Clarkson the look of absolute death.
Clarkson's the only one that's actually slept in a bed last night.
You have a lovely plush 4-poster, Mr. Chamberlain.
Yes, I do, and so I'm very grateful for your positive comments. You do lose a point or 2 apparently for your driving.
Well, given
Although
that there was no
accept
driver and nobody else was sober,
you probably were the most fit to drive out the lot of us.
I work with
What
trains,
am I-
not carriages. I did what I could.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, you're in quite a posh living room, actually.
Would
when
you
come round,
rather
Mr.
I
Roscar.
left you back at the opium den? Oh, don't
Is
answer
that
that.
what you call tasteful wallpaper?
Well, you did say last night that you wanted to see what a real house looked like, and I figured, why not?
I did not say that. And honestly, this place is shit. You have
Gracious,
killed my
please.
honour to show me a side cabinet. It looks like that. Is that your idea of a bureau?
Well,
no,
I'm
that
sure-
was somebody else's idea of a
Not
bureau.
even
I
a
just bought it.
Macintosh.
I'm sure we can have a look at the Doyle's household very soon because we need to speak to the father.
Why?
Well, I
we?
found quite a lot of things last night in the offices while you were all off your tits.
I was not off anyone's tits. Chance to be a fine bloody thing.
Was I off tits? Fuck.
Oh yes, a good 4 of them, I think, from what I could count. Well, a few things happened last night, or things that I discovered. Firstly, they get regular opium in, of course. The police are given hush money, although this month apparently they haven't got any yet.
We could use that.
And in terms of the father, he apparently worked for the Tong until 3 weeks ago. He was in deliveries, and interestingly, there is also this rather infamous Jade Dragon statue that's been making the rounds, and that has also been missing since arriving in London around 3 weeks ago. So 3 guesses as to who's been responsible for that.
Well, he did seem to have a fair amount of Oriental accoutrements in his home, if I remember rightly. There was the odd bit of art and so on, and decor.
He did work in deliveries.
Sounds like
He
he's
must-
been pilfering. I despise pilfering. Well, you haven't seen a hypocrite before?
So we need to find this statue and give it back.
Right then. Wait, what? Give it to the Tong?
Well, yes.
That's the only way to stop them.
Stop them from what? Weren't they going to end the world or something?
They're gonna be kidnapping kids again, or worse.
Oh, but
If
only
the
those two.
Doyle guy actually got a hand of on the statue.
They'll only be kidnapping those 2 kids. As far
I
as
don't
can
think
tell.
so. There was plenty of evidence of more trafficking of children.
And you think they'll stop if you give them a statue?
This is not just any statue. This is something that goes back generations. It's very important to them.
Did they start kidnapping all these kids when they lost the statue?
May have well have been the instigator of their plans.
Seems like a bit of a stretch to me.
But also, I was thinking about what that gnome hag said to you, Doctor. I know it might have been gibberish, but also it sounds like I don't particularly want to wake this dragon in the east. I want to put it back to sleep, as it were. Give this jade thing back and calm everything down.
I don't think we should be giving things to gangs.
What do you suggest we do then? Give it to the police?
Well, obviously not. They'll give it to a gang.
So what? Keep it for yourself?
Well, I wouldn't want such a thing, I'm sure, but I could probably put it in my farm where it's out of the way and no one's going to get at it. But that's not the point. The point is, I do not believe for one moment that a gang, notorious for human trafficking, began human trafficking when they lost something 3 weeks ago.
No, but it will certainly get worse.
What will?
Well, if they feel the need to kidnap his children because they're pissed off at him.
That's a him problem, though, isn't it? And as far as I can tell, he, until very recently, was also a Tom.
So you're thinking just walk away?
I think that he stole that statue either to cause or to prevent the end of the world because of what that hag said. In either case, I don't trust either of them with it.
Shouldn't he be back today?
Yes.
Yes, you should.
All
Yes.
right.
And I
So
think we should be
We can have a talk with him.
Mhm.
I think we could. I think this dragon should certainly be acquired by us. I agree. Actually, I don't really trust either of them with it.
Do you remember? Do you remember what the hag said, or do you want to recap on that?
Yeah, I've
No,
got it here.
I got that written down. Yeah, the city will burn, yet now, as you search for answer, you awaken the dragon of the east. I hear the cries of children. An evil, is roused beneath the streets. The hound is hunting. Oh no, no, no! It cannot be. A god in the machine. The dead are marching. So we got reference about this dragon. Still the hound. We don't know what the hell that is. Nor the god in the machine. What?
Oh, speaking of Baskervilles, that man who bumped into me when we arrived gave me this, and I hold up the Sherlock Holmes business card.
Are you for real?
Well, where else do you think I got this?
Oh,
He doesn't print them himself, you know.
221B Baker Street.
Looks like an easy prank.
Well, that's what I thought, but why give it to me? I'm not so gullible as to go over there. I'm not a tourist.
Maybe you look like one? In the eye of a stranger, of course.
Good save.
Only just twigged that the bloody family's called Doyle.
This guy turns out to be called Arthur. I'm just gonna arraign him one just on general principle.
I figured it out way too late.
Oh yeah, me too.
Doyle,
Actually,
why Doyle? What is to do Doyle with anything?
Funnily
Right.
enough, the Doyle thing. I thought the connection would be the fact that the other gang in play here is Irish.
Well, yeah.
Right, well, I suppose we'd better go to this 221B Baker Street.
Are we going there
Why?
first?
Why?
Yeah, some random
Why?
guy gives me a business card for this Mr. Holmes.
Well,
For
it
no
does
reason.
seem rather strange he'd give it to you.
Exactly. So I'm going to just dispose of it.
But aside from the man's poor judgment, I still think we should hear what he has to say.
Surely we have more important things to do
Address?
right now?
Yeah. I agree with you, mate.
We don't need to see a detective.
We're not winding our way down to Baker Street.
And we already have a doctor.
Come on, that was just screaming to get said.
Oh, that's bad.
Maybe after all this is over, we can pay this gentleman a visit if you're really so keen as to go to his house.
Well, I'm going to go and get my card and then head on over there.
Very well.
Oh, so you're going to Baker Street?
Well, no, first I'm going to go to Nathaniel's stables, use his cart to go to my cart.
Leave
And
his
then-
cart. Leave his cart in what, Limehouse?
Not my problem.
No, the official driver can drive you to your cart, and that way I can get my damn carriage back again.
And washed.
Again, not my problem.
So where is everyone else going?
To the Doyle household, surely.
Yeah, I really want to talk with the Doyle Patriarch.
Yeah.
So we can smash it.
Mrs. Roscar is off to Baker Street by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Light on her head and dead on her feet.
So you go off to Limehouse, you find your cart and your hidden shotgun is still there.
Well, that's a surprise.
Yeah, why not?
Thought I was going to have to steal Nathaniel's car.
Everyone thought the cart just standing there was a bit obvious to Nick. It was a setup.
Told you were getting a driver.
I could have a driver, but I like driving it myself.
Well, the driver
Everyone
can
else.
sit in the carriage while you drive over, but the driver will be there to drive the carriage back.
Everyone else goes around to the Doyle's place. And you knock on the door, and you sort of welcomed in because the staff recognise you. And Mrs. Doyle comes down, and she says, "Oh, have you found the children yet?" She starts shouting, "Henry! The investigators are here. They've come back." And a tall, dark-haired man, sort of like a late middle age, comes out of his room. He's got a pipe with a very oriental sort of like a motif on it, holding a newspaper. And he says, "What have you found? Have you found the children yet?"
Our investigation is still ongoing, but we do have some promising leads.
Oh, okay. But looking at him, he's obviously been sitting down, smoking, reading the paper. He seems very unconcerned about it all. I'd be interested to see what those leads are. Are you near a resolution?
One could say we are near, yes.
Yes, there's been a couple of promising avenues. I suppose it's a case of chasing each avenue down, find out which ones are the dead ends and which ones lead us ultimately to finding your children.
And the wife was sort of like, "Oh, please! I was hoping you came with better news than that. I was hoping you found them."
I give you my word that we will find them and keep them safe.
"Oh, thank you," she says. "Thank you. Please, Henry, help them out whatever they need." So he says, "Oh, what is it you do need?"
I'm tempted to just go right in on it.
Maybe we could talk somewhere private, Mr. Henry.
Oh, no. He takes the pipe out of his mouth. "Yes, of course. Come in." And he goes back into the room he's come out of. As you sorry.
Are we alone with him now?
Yes.
Excellent.
So you've caught him relaxing in a chair with his paper and a pipe. There's another door out of this room that's closed, but the room is not particularly large, but has a distinctly oriental feel to the furniture and artwork, even the panels. There's a smell of incense that permeates the room with exotic flavors. Jade figurines cover shelves and tables around the room. And there are a couple of very comfortable chairs that provide seating around a decorated table. That's decorated with creatures and characters from Chinese mythology. Even the pipes that stand on a pipe stand over the mantelpiece have an oriental feel to them. The books on the shelves cover a wide range of topics, but most of them are about the history and mythology of the Orient. You notice as you enter, well illuminated by two gas lamps, is a green jade dragon statue that's dominating one wall.
And there was me thinking it would be behind a picture, but no, it's right there.
Can you roll me a presence and perception roll, the three of you?
Oh,
Presence.
okay.
I don't know how much presents do I have. Oh, for fuck's sake, I got no presents.
Well, may this be a gift for you.
Yeah, I got fuck all again.
Presence is a biggie in this game, obviously.
2 successes.
2,
Yes.
3 successes.
3 successes. So Lawrence somewhat, Mr. Chamberlain more. As you move through the room, you feel an odd sensation of this dragon statue watching you. Lawrence, you and Dr. MacCormick both sit down, but Nathaniel, you almost get, as you're sitting down, you almost get this, you almost seem to think this statue moves a little bit just at the corner of your eyeball. When you look around, it's just a statue, it's just still there. But whenever it's just in sight, you think you see it just move just like that.
Rather than sit down, I'm going to sort of nonchalantly sort of look at some of the artwork. Partially because it gives me an excuse to ask about some of the pieces so I can work up towards the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And partially because I want to see if there's anything worth half-inching.
Okay, yes. A lot of the stuff is quite expensive.
Okay, the Wraith will be making a visit here soon. I do house call. I'm a bit like a doctor. I do house calls, you know.
So he sort of like he sits down and goes, "How can I help you?" And he's sort of like a bit distracted by Nathaniel walking around the room, and he says, "Yes, I mean, what is it you need? Is any further information about the children?"
Yes and no. May I, Mr. Clarkson and Mr. Chamberlain?
Yes.
By all means.
Yeah, I'm going straight to the point. Since your wife is out of the way, we got your kids. They're safe and sound, but you see, there's something that I cannot tolerate. That is innocent creatures put in harm's way for the sins of their fathers.
I don't understand what you mean, he says.
Oh, don't play dumb, please. Don't insult both of our intelligence.
I can't see what the children has to do with any of my business.
We know about the Tang. We know about the Chinese trafficking here and there. We know about your businesses. We know about your relations went sour, and now supposedly your kids disappeared overnight.
Yes, kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, or run away.
I kind of I do a loud whisper so it's still audible, but I say to Archibald, maybe he is just really stupid.
What is he trying to get at? You think my dealings, that I've been involved in been caught up in my dealings with the spice trade?
No.
You worked
yes.
in deliveries, and your
I've been quite
fingers were a
successful.
little bit too close to things that don't belong to you.
I don't know what you mean, he says. If you can roll me wits perception again, everybody.
Wits perception. How many
Well,
black dice?
presents.
Not your favourite. 3 black dice.
Okay. I got 2 successes.
Okay.
Also 2.
I get -2, so I'm just looking at the artwork. I'm not bothering him at all.
Yeah, so he's obviously lying. He obviously does know what he was talking about, but
yeah, we got that before the roll, frankly. Oh dear.
Okay.
Why don't we address the dragon in the room, Mr. Doyle?
Oh, his eye goes immediately to the dragon. Yes, he says, that is a new acquisition of mine. I had it imported especially from China.
Mhm.
An acquisition that was not particularly official, and the Tong didn't really like that, did they? They took you off their business dealings.
What do you know of the tongue?
I
Oh,
just
all
told you we
sorts.
know about that, you stupid excuse of a man. Now, you hired us to find your kids. We are telling you your kids got kidnapped because you're being a cunt. So please stop acting like the stupid ass you are acting as, and please work with us.
Oh, I didn't really think that that would affect my family quite so much.
Then you are
It's
more
just
naive than
very
I
dumb.
thought.
I didn't realise they.
It's just very dumb, Lawrence.
I didn't
You were
realise
right.
they'd noticed it had gone missing. They bring in a lot of stuff.
It's an heirloom that goes back more generations than you've sat on that couch.
I had no real idea of its history.
Oh, you just thought it was a nice little trinket and you'd bring it home and you, what, are suddenly surprised when there's serious repercussions?
Well, I do import spices, and occasionally I can get in other items in the shipment. This happened to be one of them.
Yes, it didn't occur to you that the kind of items that it would require you to take on your by your spice road wouldn't be the sort of thing that would be sort of general pieces of trinket.
Well, I mean, I have got away with having stuff in the past. I
Have you?
suppose. Yes, some of these items I've imported, and using the tongs shipments to bring them in. But when I saw this dragon, I just had to have it. It's fantastic. Look at it. Look at it.
Yes, we have seen it. It is gorgeous. However, I put it to you the following possibility: that they became aware of your light-fingered touch with some of their items, but possibly determined that they were minor trinkets. But this dragon, no, this was a step too far, and your children almost paid the price for it.
Obviously, I can see that now. I can realise. Yes, I can see what you're saying. It's obviously a great error on my part.
Don't
I
tell
got
that
too
to us.
confident.
Tell that to your children.
Too confident.
The problem is, I'm not particularly keen on your former paymasters getting this particular item back.
Well, no, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? I mean, look at it.
Neither
Look
am
at
I particularly keen on you keeping a hold of it, because as long as you have it, your children remain in danger.
What do you suggest?
That it should be given to a third party.
Oh, yourself, I suppose.
Well, if you want to nominate myself, I'm certainly not going to turn down the nomination.
I just
The
think.
safety of your children is paramount. As long as this remains in your home, your children are in danger.
Okay, so he pauses for a minute. You can tell he's thinking about it. Well, I mean, I suppose if I have to give it up, maybe if it's kept in safekeeping, I could have it back at some later date.
You're really not understanding the concept of whilst it's in your possession, your children are in danger, are you?
We could just not allow the children back into your possession, since this is obviously far more important than they are.
Yeah, that's kidnapping on our behalf.
No, not at all. No, it is taking them to somewhere more suitable that will look after them properly and not neglect them for
Um,
There
mere
is
trinkets.
there is a notorious bounder who has been known to procure fine arts from stately homes. I believe the newspapers refer to him as the Wraith.
I've read about the chap, yes.
I suppose we could take the dragon and a few other items, and you could call the police in, and you could state that the theft you believe was the work of the Wraith.
I suppose.
You are simply the victim of an innocent theft.
I
And
suppose.
if the
could be-
Tong have some knowledge or influence over the police or other authorities, they'll get wind of the fact that you've been the victim of a terrible crime, and they can start looking elsewhere for their trinket. And when that becomes clear, the children are safe.
Yes, I suppose that makes sense. Where will where will the dragon go?
And a few other items as well. We must make it look like a general theft, not just for one item.
A very good point, Mr. Chamberlain.
Well,
I thought so. I'm
too
not very
much,
good at
surely.
this. I'm glad Mr. Clarkson's here to keep me right on these. I don't think about
Wow.
these nefarious
I was
things,
going to
so-
say I've read about the Wraith, and he is very good apparently at what he does. He doesn't just take one or two things. He goes all out.
He cleans
Apparently take-
bookshelves.
Yes, apparently takes the high end items, according to
Oh,
the
yeah.
newspapers.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yes,
heard
according
that
to the
too.
newspapers.
Well, I suppose if there's any way of getting the children back, not
It is
too
the
many
only
things.
way. It is the only way.
If I
of getting
can
them.
pick the items that get stolen,
Well, you draw up a list of, say, a dozen items.
a dozen, that many.
I'll draw up a list of, say, a dozen items, and we'll definitely take the ones that match, and then we'll take a couple from your list and a couple from mine.
As long as one of
that's-
those things is the Jade Dragon, of course.
Oh, that goes without saying that they will not be on
I
either
know,
list.
but I'm just making sure Mr. Doyle is abundantly clear about
I
that.
suppose that makes sense.
Wonderful. See, you're you're getting closer and closer to your
Beloved
family
children.
returning.
Okay. And when's this going to happen tonight? When do we get the kids back?
One thing at a time. Let us deal with the theft.
Indeed. We don't want them around a crime scene after all.
Absolutely.
They've been through
Absolutely.
enough.
Then the police report is filed. I mean, the bigger the heist, the bigger news resonance it would have.
But the children are safe, aren't they?
They are perfectly safe. In fact, I can honestly say they are probably safer now than they've ever been in the last few weeks.
Okay, I'll agree to it. As long as you can get the tongue off my back.
Of course.
So you can drop your list now as we whip across to Baker Street for Mrs. Roscar.
Who's going to the bathroom?
No, I was going to go to the bathroom, but I could. No, I'm going to go to
It's
the
from
bathroom.
all that internally screaming.
Okay, so you can drop your list then, Mr. Chamberlain.
Yeah. Here's why I'm doing the two lists. Because he is going to deliberately pick the lowest cost items on his list, and I'm going to deliberately pick the high ones. So we're going to have some crossover, and then I'm going to take a couple of the low cost items off of his and a couple of the high cost items off of mine. Because if we go by his list, we're going to walk out with every fucking cheap trinket going, and that's
Okay.
not happening.
So are you
Robbing him blind, absolutely.
yeah.
This is going to be the first case if he's actually going to get robbed by the Wraith without realizing he's actually been robbed by the Wraith.
So what do you do with the stuff when you get it? Are you keeping it, or
Well, we could decide between the lot of us what happens with the Jade Dragon, but the rest of the stuff, you're damn right, it's getting fenced.
okay? So you come to over the next couple of hours. You haggle the list and you come to an agreement. And like you say, we'll divide it up the way you said.
But
Jade Dragon and 6 items from his list, 6 items from your list.
yeah.
God blimey, they're slow answering the door round here, aren't they? I've been stood here ages waiting.
So when Mrs. Roscar gets to Baker Street, she knocks on the door, and a woman answers it, and she says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Good day. The master of the house, I believe, has made contact, and I'm here to make the contact, as it were.
Oh, you mean, okay, if you'd like to come in, I'll take you upstairs.
Why, thank you very much.
And she leads you upstairs, and she goes to a first floor room and knocks on the door. And an older gentleman answers the door, dressed in a tweeds and stuff, and she says, "Dr. Watson, there's a lady here to see you, you and Mr. Holmes. She seems to be foreign of some sort, very hard to understand." And this man just introduces Watson, looks at you, says, "Oh, please, madam, come in and take a seat. And tell us what's the problem."
I enter the room and I sit down. I wait for the door to close before I say a single word. And then...
just before the door closes, he will say, "Mrs. Hudson, tea for everybody, please."
A good day to you.
Says the gentleman sitting in front of the fireplace with a dressing gown on. "I expected more of you."
Oh. I beg your pardon?
"Oh, only one person's come. I expected to see the other 3 as well."
Ah, yes, well, I'm afraid you've deduced incorrectly.
Obviously, they think there's more important things to concern them.
Well, you didn't make much of an impression.
"I'll try harder next time," he says with a chuckle. "What can I do for you?"
Well, you contacted us.
I did, yes. Like I say, I expected to see more of you here, actually. But I suppose you can relay my message to everybody.
Certainly.
There's I've come to notice that you are investigating certain matters on behalf of the Cobblestone Club.
We're investigating certain matters.
Yes, you've come to my attention in these investigations, and while I'm quite busy at the moment with various things going on, there is possibly some load you could take off my shoulders for me.
Having trouble deducting, are we?
No, just the volume.
Have you tried earmuffs?
No, that's they're Watson's when I'm playing the violin. But yes, if there's if you have some space, some time, then I could pass over certain cases to you. Some might be a bit difficult. Might be a tad beyond you, but hopefully you could cope. You've done fairly well so far.
We have, yes. So what is the case you have in mind?
Well, I think I need to talk to all of you for that, actually. I will need to know you're all fully committed. Just talking to you is one thing, but I need to know that everybody is in agreement before I actually pass a case over, because it could be quite
well, I have
quite
to say,
sensitive.
based on the information given so far, which is, let me see here, nothing, I don't think they're interested. You're going to have to give us something to entice them to even turn up.
Right, okay, so let's get to the okay, so yeah, just like Jayson said, you're jumping ahead a little bit, but I have a lady that's come to me for some help. She's quite a particular person. She needs complete gosh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Discretion.
Discretion. Yes, sorry, that's me, not
You're
Holmes. She has a friend that has been murdered, and she needs you to exonerate the person has been accused of such murder.
I see.
I believe you're already familiar with the lady. That this is why I picked you particularly for this case. Lady Miriam.
Miriam.
That's the lady in the pub.
That Robert fancies.
Posh, mysterious lady.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
I see. And you actually believe a character such as her would be innocent?
I have good reason to believe that she has ulterior motives, but essentially, I believe she's honest in this case.
I shall let the others know, and
I'm afraid I cannot deal with this at this time. When I saw you last night, I was currently on the case I'm currently on. Something to do with
Jade Dragon, did it?
It did not. No, it involved a undersecretary to the Treasury, visiting drug dens and being used by the Tong.
Ah, I see.
Obviously, I'm afraid the government necessities have taken precedence over this one.
Yes, quite. He should have used the opium den just outside of the Commons.
They get shipped in these days. So if you could pass the message on to your compatriots, feel free to visit me for more information if you decide to accept the case.
We'll let you know.
Or when you accept the case.
Have a good day, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you very much. And as you're leaving, Mrs. Hudson's come up the stairs, and as you're leaving, she goes, "Oh, just bought 3 teacups."
Oh, I'm so sorry, but my time is quite limited today. Head on.
Okay. So back at the Doyles, then you've settled on your 12 ornaments plus the Drake Dragon.
Oh, not just ornaments. If this has to be the Wraith, then we have to make it look good.
So what you do?
Some of the wall fittings and Art Deco and stuff, it's got to go. It's got to look like the Wraith.
Okay. So yeah, you can do that. You can set up a fake burglary for that evening if you want.
I mean, to be honest, right? Part of it is genuine that I believe if we get the Jade Dragon out of his way, and it looks like he's the genuine victim of a robbery.
No,
And
to be honest, you've branched out into con artistry.
I'm getting to point 2. Part of it is genuinely, if it looks like a fake robbery, then if it looks like a robbery, then they won't come looking at him. I mean, they might want to take it out of his hide, but they're not going to take his kids because there's no profit in that. So honestly, I do believe the kids will be safe doing this. But secondly, yes, I want to make a quick profit on some of these fine items. And thirdly, I do want to sort of punish him in a way because he's put his kids in danger, and I'm not having it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can do that. You can set all that up, and you can keep it secret from the servants.
Yep.
And you keep it secret from his wife as well.
Yeah.
You are okay. So you set that up with him, and you can do all that. That's fine.
The less people know, the less chance there is of gossip.
But what are you actually going to do with this dragon once you've got it?
I think the 4 of us need to get together and decide what we're going to do with it. The rest of it is going to get fenced. Because again, that will help not only fill my pockets, but it will help with setting up the illusion that he's genuinely been robbed.
Okay. Okay, so you've finished that section then. So you need to decide now what you're going to do with this dragon.
You're muted, babe.
Yeah, we can chuck it in the Thames as far as I'm concerned.
I suggest we put it in a field in Tunbridge Wells.
As long as I don't have to look after it, I didn't like the way it was looking at me.
You still get that uneasy feeling when you're around it as well. It always seems to be just at the edge of your eyes. It seems to be just moving just slightly. And Lawrence, you just seem to. Actually, Mrs. Roscar hasn't actually seen it yet. So you can roll me a wit's perception, please, Becky.
Four. If I roll the right number of dice. Do I get any black dice with that?
No, it's a pretty straightforward roll. So you're like Nathan, just at the corner of your eye. You always seem to think it's just moving, and you look around, it's staying still. But as soon as you look away, it just seems to be moving a little bit.
One moment, and I don't know where we are at this moment in time.
You could be at Nathan's place, perhaps, next day after he's done the
I
burglary.
pop out to his gardens, and I'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes, carrying a sledgehammer. Right, we'll settle this.
So are you going to let her break it, or?
Oh God.
I mean, no one stops me when I came in with the sledgehammer, so yes.
Well, you're definitely going to awaken the dragon doing that.
Two roads diverged in the wood, and I didn't bother with any of them because I just took a sledgehammer to a jade dragon.
This is the whole. Okay, I am seeing the daughter of a goddess. I shoot her right in the face all over again.
Mhm.
All over
That's
again.
right, Mr. Kanane.
So you're gonna break the dragon.
Why are you checking this for a third time? I didn't wait that long.
Okay.
I didn't put that much thought into it. I just thought, oh, that's creepy. That's looking at me. No, do not like.
Yeast or
What's the
be
problem?
heated.
You're doing so
So
well.
you smash the dragon, and there is a bit of a what's the way to put it? Not
Rumble?
explosion, but there is a sort of that pushes you all back to the walls. Shatters your window, Nathan, out your room.
Maybe use the smaller hammer.
And go to the kitchen, get a dustpan and brush, and we're going to melt this down, right? I assume Jake melts down into a valuable ore or something.
No, it's stone. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Take
Well,
it,
it's still
take
worth
it,
a lot.
Take it. Yeah, well, jade. Yeah.
It's
Sell
just a
it.
stone.
Don't sell it. Don't sell it all in one vendor.
Well, actually, I'm thinking there are two possibilities. Either some ritual was going to end the world involving the statue, or some ritual was going to prevent the end of the world involving the statue. So maybe we should keep the pieces for now. Just in case.
Stick it back together.
And perhaps kill some horses for their hooves.
Huh?
What?
Kill some horses for their hooves.
For the glue.
I don't know.
To make glue. Just in case we have to stick it back together.
Horse glue, yeah. Used to make glue out of horses.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
Own as well.
That's guessing old.
I
Didn't
got
wait for-
that. All right.
So you're done. That's it.
Just chuck these pieces into a box, put that in the cupboard under your stairs. There you go. Don't forget it was ever there.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to find a good glazier.
Yeah, you are. You need repairing your windows now.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like something broke out, doesn't it?
It does. You've actually, and Nathan, you know she's destroyed several £1,000s worth of jade statue.
You know, funnily enough, the reason I didn't stop her is I wasn't too worried about the statue. Actually, fencing the statue wasn't an option because there was too much possibility of it getting back to the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't risk it. The rest of the items, if it gets back to the tongue, fine, so be it. But that item, I couldn't take the risk. If it wasn't getting sent very far away, then we're going to find some way to destroy it.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I made a decision on the grounds it was creepy.
It was
Always the best
it was
move.
a way to go.
Always the best move in it. It's
It's a
creepy.
bit of the Genghis
Smash.
Khan thing, you know. Don't understand it, destroy it.
If it's creepy, smash it with a sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
So many horror films have ended immediately if they took that line of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But as a GM, of course, you could just do the other logic.
Okay, yeah, all done for this session. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Hey.
That's going to bite us in the bottom in a bit, isn't it?
And if we hadn't, it was getting us in the bottom for the other lodge. It works both ways. That's the problem.
Yeah. The only thing that mattered to me ultimately was setting up a situation that kept the children safe, somewhat punished the father for putting him in that fucking position in the first place.
And now you got the money to buy new windows.
And now I've got the money to buy new windows, which, wasn't immediately what I thought was going to happen with the necessity of the windfall. But obviously I'm going to split a lot of the take to my compatriots.
Yay.
So instead of being released under a controlled, managed fashion, Mrs. Roscar has just released something now that is just now out there, uncontrolled.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's all right. Sherlock will deal with it.
We'll find it. We will hunt it down. We will find it. We will corner it, and we'll kill it to death.
He's off to Dartmoor.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Done for the evening then. Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us as
Enjoyed
always.
that.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for playing.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dan.
Whee!
Night night.